Here's another example of the government doing a phenomenal job. And another one this one is from California. This one I think you guys will like, although I still think that the people with the Brook derangement syndrome will give me no credit for this. Even though I predicted this, I've said this for years and years and years. Anyway, the California state has actually hired an auditor to assess how it's done with regard to tackling homelessness. Because ultimately, over the last 5 years, California has spent, California tax money, $27 billion. Let me repeat that, $27 billion on addressing homelessness in California. So how have they done, right? So we know that, spending money on electric charging stations by the government produces zero results. Well, what happens when California spends money on homelessness? Does it produce any results? Yes, it does. It actually does. After spending $24 billion on homelessness, it turns out that the number of homeless people in California has actually increased. It's gone up. And of course, this is obvious. If you offer homeless people a free home, more people will become homeless in order to get the free home. The more money you spend on homeless people, the more you encourage people to become homeless. People at the margin. Of course, nobody is going to give up a nice cushy house, a nice middle-class income in order to become homeless to get a shitty home. But somebody at the margin is going to. So $24 billion later, the problem of homelessness in California is larger than it was before they spent the $24 billion. Not only that, but it turns out that nobody actually knows where the $24 billion went, who got them, how it was spent. All we know is more homeless people in the streets of California. Now, note that California is changing its strategy. The case is before the Supreme Court. We'll find out soon whether the Supreme Court agrees with us. But the California and Oregon, Portland, the city of Portland, are getting much tougher with homeless people. If the Supreme Court allows them to get tougher with them, we will see if that has an impact. Throwing $24 billion. I mean, they could have just given everybody a check. But I guess if they'd given them checks, more people would become homeless to get more checks. There's no way, you can't solve this problem with money. It turns out the only way to solve this problem, at least what I've been saying forever, is build more homes. Make housing dramatically cheaper by creating massive supply. Will drive the cost down. Don't give homeless people anything. Just lower the cost of housing. And people at the margin will stay in their houses, particularly if they don't get any freebies by becoming homeless.